What up, y'all? You're tuned into another episode of Breaking Boundaries Podcast. We are here. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, it has been a little. Has it?
Well, it's been like, I don't know, maybe it's been like a week.
Been a week, yeah.
It just feels like longer because the week's been so damn long, dude.
Yeah, has it?
Well, I told you, business opportunity,
right?
You know, leaving one thing and going into another.
Yeah.
As you transition, it makes your days longer. You know how it is.
Yeah, it's scary change.
Yeah.
It's scary. I don't know how many times like in my business, and then the thing that I wanted in my business or the growth, it comes, and then you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like the manifestation comes, and then it's there, and you're like, oh shit. You start to get nervous. And you want everything perfect, and then you start to get fearful too of like, what if it doesn't work out?
Yeah.
I've done it so many times. It's like, oh, I want this so bad, and then I get into fear of not having it. And I think that before, when I had less, like the more that I get, the more fearful I get.
Right.
Because you get more afraid of losing it.
Yeah.
It's like before, when I had nothing to lose, it's like things would come faster.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. And when it all comes at once like that, it's like everything just hits you. It seems like things feel like such a good idea before they happen, and then it hits you and you're like, fuck, was this a good idea? But usually it is a good idea.
Yeah, but because we don't think of all the stuff that comes with it. We just think of the thing, but we don't think of all the work and all the other ideas. So once it actually comes, you're like, oh wait, there's this that has to be done, that has to be done for this to work, and so you don't think of it, and it comes, and it's just a process. But Abraham Hicks talks about that too, dude, where you want it. Oh, it's here. And now you start shoving doubt in it.
Right.
So you start messing your manifestation up. You know what I mean? You go back to your old ways, and you start putting doubt and fear into all those things, and you mess it up,
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. I think too, though, those feelings are good sometimes, because, it's like when we're making a decision, our ego is involved a lot, right? We're like, I'm going to fucking go out and do this, and I'm going to, I'm big and bad, and I'm going to make this huge change. And then it hits you, and it's like, okay, let me humble myself a little bit and realize that this is a good change, but I got to play it out properly. But
also, here's another thing that happened, and it tends to happen to me too. Whenever I level up like that, that fear I believe is the devil coming in. When something good, trying to stop it.
Absolutely.
That's what I got goosebumps right now, dude.
Yeah.
It is, because whenever I level up, or my business or or whatever comes to fruition, there's all this, I start getting attacked, and all these things start happening. I start thinking fearful and what can go wrong. And I believe that's the devil coming in, man.
Right. Yeah, I do too, for sure. Yeah. And it feels good once you push through that, though. It
does, dude. It does, man. It does.
Yeah.
And then also, am I worthy of it?
Yep.
And I don't, dude, I feel like, because people talk about that, and I feel like, dude, I am worthy of things. So I don't know if that applies to me, but in other things, maybe not finances, there is other things where I've had to, yes, I'm worthy of it. Yes, I'm worthy of it. Yes, I'm worthy of it.
Right.
I think that we don't even notice sometimes our defects.
Yeah.
Like we don't even notice.
Right.
But when it comes to finances, man, I'm fucking worthy, dude.
Yeah.
I'm worthy of them. But also, in order for us to feel worthy of them, we feel that we have to work for them.
Yeah.
We have that mentality that, I didn't work hard enough, so I don't deserve it.
Yeah.
I think that's where I have some lack of worthiness.
Yeah. I was just having this discussion because I was talking to a good friend of mine, and I was talking about how, new opportunities are coming my way. So I'm leaving some previous opportunities to take on new opportunities. And I'm like, dude, but fuck, sometimes I feel like I'm not going to be able to fulfill, these roles that I'm taking on to level myself up. And he's like, dude, like you're a smart fucking person. He told me, you have fucking imposter syndrome. You know what imposter syndrome is?
Yep.
He's like, that's your imposter syndrome. And I'm like, I didn't know much about imposter syndrome. I had heard about it, and I like knew what it was, but he's like, dude, I have it too. And so I went home after he said that, and I started watching all these TED Talks that people did about imposter syndrome and like all these things they would describe. I'm like, oh shit, maybe I do have imposter syndrome when it comes to certain shit. Like I just, like you said, like you are worthy, but you start to question if you're worthy, you know? And so now that I kind of like realize that, I think I'm going to handle these situations a little better, kind of knowing how to address that and realize that, because I was watching this TED Talk and this lady was talking about how imposter syndrome comes from trauma. It comes from your trauma. And she started talking about how like a lot of people say, you know, don't feel comfortable saying that they've had trauma because other people have had things so much worse than them in life, right? And she's like, but there's two types of trauma. There's big T trauma and little T trauma, right? So like big T trauma is like going through domestic violence or like going through really harsh situations like that. But we all have what she called little T trauma, where it's like these little traumas that build up over time, right? And they're just small things. Maybe in school you got bullied a little bit. You know, maybe you failed at something over and over again. You know, and just little things that happen. Those are traumas too. You know what I mean? And so when we think about it that way, that when you say you fail at something over and over again that you're trying to achieve, well, that's going to build up in your brain, right? And then when you finally do get to the point that you succeed at it, you ask yourself, man, am I worthy of this? Like, look at how many times I failed. Am I really worthy of succeeding at it? And that made a lot of sense to me. And I'm like, okay, that's true. So like, we have to realize that we've gone through small traumas that have affected us mentally over time, and realize that with all those failures and then finally succeeding, we are worthy of succeeding. All that work that we put into getting there, and now we're gonna say, I don't deserve this. Like, no, you do deserve it, right?
Yeah, man. That just gave me a lot to think about. You know, and that's the thing, dude. Like, who the fuck said we weren't worthy?
Yeah.
But also, like, where the fuck did we get the idea from? And I get what you're saying. There's some kind of trauma, and to pay attention to that, man. But I think society and other things, influences, make us feel unworthy, you know? But there's some kind of programming obviously in there.
Yeah.
You know, there's some, and I tried to find out like where it's like, cause I'm always not doing good enough. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm always, so I don't know if it's imposter syndrome, but I'm always not doing good enough. But that's also, I've been known to successful people are like that. Right. You know what I mean? And that's how you stay successful. And that's how it's always kind of motivated me, you know? Yeah. But there's something, well, there's, my son was telling me about in the Bible and Adam and Eve, and that, that's where man, something to do with, Adam taking the apple. Mm-hmm. And before that, man didn't feel like he had to work to be worthy. But because of that was their punishment kind of thing, the story, right? And that's where like everything was free before that. Yeah. Like everything came free. They didn't have to work for shit, but that was like the man's punishment, where he had to feel worthiness, and he had to work for things. Yeah, yeah. Have you heard that?
Yeah, because in Christianity, when Eve is the one that ate the apple, and prior to that, man didn't sin. So man just lived this free life where there was no worries, there was no sin. Right. Man couldn't do anything wrong. Once Eve took that apple that God said, do not eat the fruit from this tree. Once that was done, right away, sin was invented because God was disobeyed. Right. So at that point, that's when it was like, okay, now we have to actually work to be good people and work to be successful at this life that we're given. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I have heard that. Yeah.
So we're given the chance, we fucked it up. And so now, you know, and I still just see that as a metaphor. You know what I mean? I had the question the other day, like, who the fuck was around to write about Adam and Eve?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't necessarily written at the time of Adam and Eve.
Right, but how did that story, you know, I'm just saying, like, there's, I don't know, it's hard for me to believe, like.
I mean, they had kids and they narrated their stories to their kids, and then they had kids and stories were narrated over time, right? So could there be some change in the story over time from narration to narration? And then finally it got to a point where it was written, in Islam, we don't believe that they were punished for eating the apple. We believe that God is forgiving and he forgave them for that.
Right. Right. Because again, and we've had this conversation, like God being a punishing God and me not really believing in that. You know what I mean? So like if God's all love, why would he punish?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's where, that's where I get a little thrown off on it.
Right. And so I attributing that mentality to today's life, I agree. I think that we are people and we are meant to have good things happen to us that we don't necessarily have to work for. I think it's the 3D world that we have to work for. Mm-hmm. But all the good things, all the things that we have come into our life that are good that happen to us, yes, we're worthy, because why do we necessarily have to do this horrendous work for every good thing that happens to us? No. Right. Like you said, God is love and he wants good things for us. And so we're meant to have good things happen. Right.
And if he already died for our sins, we're supposed to be cleansed from that, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's how Christianity looks at it.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that's how it is. I'm just saying like that's, you know what I mean?
Right.
If that's what they're saying.
Right. Yeah, man. I've been having a lot of these thoughts lately too, like thinking about like the religious side of things or like the spiritual side of things, and then like the 3D world side of things. And I've been trying to like intermingle those things, and it's so damn hard, dude.
It's navigating, because you got to be in one or the other.
Right.
You got to be in the 3D, but navigating them together is difficult.
Yeah, very difficult. And that's why the law of attraction hit me so much, because it does navigate those things together. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you're attracting the things in this 3D world that you're meant to attract, or that you want to attract, or that your emotions attract, right? And so like that kind of tied the two together for me, like where the things we're attracting are these things in the 3D world, right? But we have control over those things when we learn how to control our thoughts and our emotions.
Right.
I think that's why that hit me so much, because it just gives you a way to navigate the world, man.
Yeah, and it just, like I said before, it simplifies it.
Yeah.
When we'll have all the answers? When we're fucking dead, bro.
Yeah,
That's when we'll have all the answers. I think that just overthinking it too much for me too, and being an overthinker, like thinking too deep into it, it makes it too much for me and gets me confused,
Right.
And again, the more I quiet my mind, the more clear understanding I have of it.
Yeah.
I met this chick at work, and she just blew in, man. And I'm having a conversation with somebody else about work about, spirituality and Abraham Hicks. And then this chick comes in, and she just, I don't know how the conversation started, but she was just super knowledgeable about, she's going over, the name of Jesus and Jesus and, Christ consciousness and everything. And she's just going down this rabbit hole of, in Jose, and saying like, it means Jesus, like talking about the Zeus God, and she's just like going on this deep rabbit hole. And it's like, and I don't go on those rabbit holes, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to know all those details, but that's her path. I've had this kind of like epiphany lately of people are on their own path.
Right.
Like we talked about this before, like Abraham Hicks and this is the law and this or that. But I was having a conversation with somebody last night, and I'm kind of telling them our beliefs and stuff like that. And then she says to me, like, her belief is that she's on this earth to take people's energy for them. So she'll listen to people's problems, their negative energy, but she can handle it, right? And to make them feel better, which is opposite from what like we discuss and like what my teachings are. But she says she's put on this earth to help people out. And if she can just help one person out, then she feels fulfilled. Right. And this is against what we talk about. Right. But like when she explained it like that, I was like, I didn't argue with her.
Right.
Like I understood it.
Yeah.
Like I accepted it. So that was kind of like a transition for me of that, like, my beliefs and my teachings aren't the only way, and everybody has their own path.
Yeah.
So like between those two conversations, it's like, I feel like that I leveled up in the way that I think of things. It was just crazy how she said it and how I accepted it.
Right.
Because I'm so forceful of my beliefs. You know, it's the law of attraction. That's what matters. Da 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 da. Right. You know, not accepting other people's negative energy. But the way she explained it, I don't know. I just I shut down. I just understood.
Right. Right. Well, and I can see some good in that kind of thinking too. Right. Like, I don't know. I've been struggling a lot because part of me wants to say, you know, there's gotta be one single truth to the reason for our existence and how we're supposed to live on Earth. But then the other part of me is also like, well, none of us know that truth 100%. We have to have faith in what we believe our truth is. So who are we to deny someone else their truth? Right. And like, we can share what we believe our truth is, but who are we to stop them from believing what their truth is? Right. And that kind of goes with like the law of allowing. Like, it's okay to try to help people find their path through sharing your experiences and your path, but you can't get in the way of them continuing to look for their own path, right? And who knows what the one truth about our existence and you know, who we're supposed to be on this earth is, right? Like, it's all about having faith that you're doing the right thing for yourself.
Right, but my point is like, I believed her truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was sold on it that works for her.
Right.
And not only that, but she's the type of person that can handle taking on that negative energy. Like, that's what I got from it, that she's okay with it. It doesn't affect her. She can handle it, right? I'm not somebody that can.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was just like a whole acceptance moment, and I just truly believed in her truth.
Yeah.
Not that her truth worked for me.
Sure.
But I believed in that she was right about herself.
And maybe that's just because maybe we are all supposed to just have our own truth, and we need all these different types of people on Earth to make the Earth operate successfully, right?
And we're all unique,
right?
Like, everybody is so unique in their own journey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
we're different. We're unique, man, and we have our own way on our own path. Just like you read, whoever reads scripture, whatever it is, you think of it this way and I think of it that way. Like, I got this message from it. Nobody's message is the same. Yeah,
because there's some level of interpretation in all of it, right? Like, when we read or we learn new information. We interpret in our own way. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And we have to in order to make it effective for our own lives.
Yeah.
What you're telling me about her, though, she sounds kind of like the empath type, right? Like, she can feel people's emotions. And when people are having bad emotions, she's one of those people that are in the 3D world, you know, realm of things. She's one of those people that can listen to people's negative emotions, so those people get it out, and she kind of takes on the role of like, I'm here to listen, right? Right.
Yeah.
And we need those people because we all need people to talk to sometimes, and can't just like talk to anyone. Some people. I'm a horrible person to talk to. You're having a fucking hard time in life. I'll listen, but I'm not good at it. I'm not good. You know, I'll listen for a little while, but at some point I'm like, God, shut up. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds selfish of me, but it's just how my brain works.
That's who you are. Yeah. I know you were telling me about that, man. And I get that. Yeah.
You know? Yeah, man.
I mean, I'm gonna say, I feel for people's pain. Like, I'll feel for it, you know, for a minute. You know, and all that, but I don't relate to it. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't relate to it, man. I just don't. I don't relate to other people's pain.
Right.
You know, and I don't know if that's part of the thing that Abraham Hicks has taught you. So maybe it's from me studying Abraham Hicks, and that's why I don't relate anymore. You know, but I don't relate to pain. I don't have a relationship with other people's pain.
Yeah, I just feel like part of me wants to be that kind of person, but I feel like the more I take on other people's struggles, the more I'm holding myself back from finding where I need to go, right?
Yeah, but part of you wants that because society says that makes you a good person.
Right.
That's why.
That's true.
That's the part of it where you'll act like you're concerned just to make people feel better.
Right.
And so they don't look badly of you.
Yeah.
Because I do it too. You know what I mean? Where it's like, when you really don't care about something, but you're, oh yeah, and you're smiling and you're this or that. Like that's the shit that Abraham talks about not being free and not being your own person. You know what I mean? So I have a little of that too, man, where you just, just to kind of get along with society,
Yeah. It's interesting. So, something I've been thinking about lately, because we talk about all this spiritual awakening stuff, and like I told you, my mind's opening up a lot. You've been going through it for a long time. And I think we're all kind of like looking for those changes in life, right? We're all looking for our path. For me, like I've kind of realized that like I'm making major changes. But what do you think? How did you know you were going through a spiritual awakening? The spiritual awakening you talk about, like, how did you know? Like, how did you know that it wasn't just some temporary thing and it's like, I'm awakening and this is the path I need to go down?
Well, because of kind of the miraculous things that changed that I didn't try to change, addiction, my food habits. I just quit I just didn't buy a pack of cigarettes one day.
Right.
I tried quitting forever, man. So like literally it was happening without me doing anything.
Yeah.
So it was unexplanatory, or addiction.
Right.
Like how to just cure that it cured it on its own.
Right.
So these are the miraculous things. And so also me seeing online about what other people are going through, so it started with Abraham Hicks and I was this and that, and I was following the law of attraction. And my whole purpose of when I heard the book was like for manifestation, to make money, to get things that I wanted. That's where it started. And then it's turned into spiritual awakening when these miraculous things started happening in my life and they were unexplanatory.
Right.
I was on the first thing that happened. I was on the road working for a moving company and I got a flat tire. The tire blew out and they just put brand new tires on before I left. I got a flat tire and I was stuck on the side of the road, man. And I just started having these like, I don't know, everything just looked weird out there. And I was like standing there and I was looking at the mountains. I think I was in Utah or something in the desert. And I was looking up and then just these flashes of like my future self started coming.
Right.
It started coming. And this was one of the things that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And so these visions started coming. And then on that same trip, I was in Colorado. I was going cross country. I was on Colorado and I came out in the morning and then all of a sudden there was like this big flash from the sky. Huge. I couldn't explain it how it was, and you just start getting these feelings in your body, man. And it's just like, and then after looking it up and seeing things online, what spiritual awakening is or whatnot, then with these miraculous, crazy shit, bro.
Yeah.
Or like I talk about my meditation about knowing what God's love feels like those miraculous moments are what was like, okay, something's going on here.
Right.
Like there's no other answer for it. Right. When miracles start happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how it is. It's the miraculous moments. And that's why I encourage people like meditation. And if you're going through a spiritual awakening and having those miraculous moments, because those miraculous moments prove the spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying? When there's no other explanation for it.
Right.
And I know I've always believed in God. I've had a relationship with God and like things would happen in my life, but never like this. Never like this because I'm a totally fucking different person, bro.
Yeah.
So how my whole life I lived one way and then all of a sudden I'm a totally different person and I'm not doing anything for that to really happen.
Right.
I don't think, you know what I mean? I don't think like the meditating or the yoga or any of that stuff, it kind of came later, but I'm like changing in this way I've been this way for so long, my whole life, and I'm naturally changing. And it's like, how is that happening?
Right.
Right. How is it that I've tried to quit smoking so many times and then all of a sudden I just didn't buy a pack of cigarettes, bro?
Yeah.
You don't even hear that, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. And the lucid dreaming, having the wild lucid dreams, like I've told you, I have dreams about something and it happens the next morning.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I was lucid dreaming, man, for a year and a half. And it was just crazy. And I could start changing what happens in my dreams. I could retract my dreams and change what happens in my freaking dreams. Like, that's wild, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's like wild stuff, you know? So like, there's no other answer. Like, I'm not on drugs. You know what I mean? These things are happening, you know? And so, yeah, so that's it, man. There's miraculous. And another thing is like, you know, when they talk about calling on your angels and your guides to like fix something for you, I've done it many times, bro. And situations get fixed, man.
Right.
Archangel Michael is like a big, like, I believe in the form of Archangel Michael, whatever the form is, I don't know, but I believe in it because I've called into my life and it's fixed situations for me immediately.
Right.
So when that happens, it's like, dude,
yeah.
you know, I'm going through an awakening, man. There's no other answer, dude.
Right.
No other answer. I was set in my ways and my beliefs and how I lived for so long. And then all of a sudden that just changes.
Right. Right. But did it, so like when all these changes started happening, did you automatically say, I'm going through something like spiritual and internal, or was it like these things started happening and then later on you were like, man, like this is a spiritual part of myself that's changing? Or were you still stuck in that normal societal part of the world and things just started happening?
Dude, to honest with you, I feel like I was just, it's so hard to explain because I was just set from the beginning, really. Yeah. It's just like a knowing without knowing. Right. You know, I can't really, I can't, and that's the thing. People try to tell me that, you know, how did you cure these things and addiction and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, I can't even really explain it to you. Yeah. I can tell you like the books I've read and the things like that, but it's just this inner fucking knowing, dude. It's just this inner knowing, man. So to answer your question, no, from the very beginning, like from the very beginning of my awakening, from the very beginning of Abraham Hicks, it was just like, I was set in my head, all these things, no more negative conversations, going in this path, eating healthy, It just all happened, man. It was like, I've been set ever since. Like, I can't stop. You can't ignore it, dude. You can't ignore it, bro. You can't go back to your old way of thinking, your old way of, you can't fucking do it. It won't let you. Yeah. It won't let you, bro. It's crazy. There's like, you can't, like I don't know if I showed you that video where the guy says it's like, once you put on the glasses of the universe, you can never take them off and you can never give them to somebody else. Right. You know, so there's no other explanation for that, dude. Yeah. You know I didn't really answer your question exactly. No, you did. It's hard to fucking say, man, but it's not easy, dude. And it can be painful, bro. But there's no other thing in my life. I mean, this is the most beautiful thing that's ever happened to me. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's fucking wild, bro.
Do you feel like it's a lot of work to go down this path though? Does it ever stress you out? Do you ever feel like fuck, like it gets overwhelming to the point that it just burns you out?
Yeah, it does, man. When I'm fucking trying to do my spiritual awakening instead of letting it happen. Yeah. So when I'm trying to meditate, I'm trying so hard to stay on a vibration, dude. That's been like a big lesson for me, and I'll constantly do it on and on and on, and then it gets really stressful. Right. You know, but also you get these, it's like you're doing good and then you get this disruption, you know, this chaos in your head, and they call that clearing trauma out, you know, and it brings stuff up. Right. It brings old habits and old ways up. Yeah, and that's fucking stressful, man, is when, oh man, I thought I was doing so good. And then fuck, what, I've learned nothing. What, is it over? Am I in the 3D now? Am I fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I've gotten to those points, and it's like, and sometimes I'm like, cause I'm thinking about it so much, and I'm like, dude, I'm fucking tired of this whole manifesting shit and this fucking this and that. And I'm fucking sick. I was like that. It was probably 3 weeks ago or a month ago. I'm fucking tired of this shit, man. I'm done with it. I don't care. I'm just gonna live my life. Right. You know what I mean? So yeah, absolutely, dude. And I thought, don't say that you think you're awake now and that you're fixed. Don't fucking say that, because you'll get some rude awakenings, dude. Yeah. But in a process of like, oh man, I'm healed, and man, things are good, and then boom, it hits you. Like, no, you're not, dude. And I seen this chick who's been doing this for years and mentoring people through their spiritual awakening, and they're talking about 6-7 years. I'm like, fucking 6-7 years I got to go through this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a process. So think of it, man. It's like, you know, living this whole, you're like, it's like a fucking, that's why they use like butterflies as a symbolism for spirituality. And I see it because the caterpillar changing into a butterfly, you're completely restructuring your whole self, man. And it's a process. And yeah. And sometimes it's like, dude, I just want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I just want to be there, dude.
Do you think there's an end to it though? Do you think at some point, like, you know, in Buddhism, like at some point you reach nirvana, complete enlightenment, right? Do you think with the way that you look at the world, do you think there's an end to it, or do you think you keep working at this path till the day you die?
I think that the end is where you just be and just exist. You know?
Do you think that's happiness though?
I don't know if it's happiness, it's just connection.
Right.
Where you can just like sit there and, I don't know, but I've seen people that are like this, where I can tell, you know, that they've gone through their spiritual awakening, like they're there and they just exist.
Yeah.
They just have like this confidence and this glow, and they just stand there, and it's crazy, bro. It's crazy when you look at them and you look at them and they're just, it's intense, dude. So I think that you just be and exist and you teach others, you know? I don't know how it works because I'm not on a path where I'm going to be a monk.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't see myself like ever not like talking on here or like helping others or like having a business or like, you know what I mean? Or doing things in the community, you know? So I don't ever see myself like just, you know, sitting there and being type of thing, you know? So I don't see myself as that being my path necessarily, you know? I still see myself in doing 3D stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean because like, I don't know, as humans, we want to think like the goal of life is to find complete happiness in life, right? But I'm not sure that exists, you know? And for me, like I'm very big, I wouldn't call myself like, you know, a part of the red pill movement or anything, but I'm very big on like masculinity and like, you know, I'm a man, so I'm very focused on like what should a man be, and like part of me says like, oh, one day I want to get to a point in life where I don't have to continue, you know, working this hard in life. But then the other part of me is like, man, men are meant to be working. Like we're not meant to be sitting around doing nothing, right? Like we're not meant to just have, you know, everything we want and not have to work at life anymore. So I don't know. It's a battle for me, man, because like I was just talking to this girl earlier about it, and she's like, don't you ever want to like get to, because I was telling her how I'm just always working, dude. I'm just, you know, whether it's toward, you know, the financial side of my life or it's toward the personal side of my life, like I'm always on the go. And there's always something new I want to do, and it's like, you know, and she was like, don't you ever want to get to a point in your life where like you can just wake up and just not have anything to do for the day, and you can just decide what you do in the moment and you don't have the next thing coming? And I'm like, I don't know if I want that, man, because I feel like as a man, I'm meant to work. Like, you know, I feel like regardless of whether that's working, you know, a job for a company or, you know, entrepreneurially, if that's a word, you know, or regardless of in what way I'm working, like, I just feel like as a man, I'm meant to work for myself and the people in my life, and that I'm meant to do that till the day I die. But then, like, sometimes I think about how hard I'm working at things and how long it takes for things to come, and am I really working toward the right things? And I'm like, fuck, is this what life is meant to be, you know? And it's such a battle, man. And, you know, do you experience that?
Oh yeah, I go through that too. But I mean, that's going back to what we talked about before. The reason you do that is because that's how you feel worthy. Because that's how you've been programmed. Me too.
Right.
That is how you be programmed. I don't like sitting because I feel worthless then.
Yeah.
But that's our programming, you know? And I believe, yes, work, but not struggle. But when you enjoy no, we're not supposed to be here to struggle, right? We're not supposed to be here to struggle. I cannot agree with that a man was supposed to be here to struggle. Work. Now, also when you're doing something you love, it's not work. So I think that has a big play in it. You know, my goal, and not only that, but you sacrifice now, you know, just like when it's building a business, they sacrifice for 5 years and they work, and then they can chill, right? And you don't feel bad about the chilling then because you know what you had to go through to get there. You know what I mean? Mm. So no, I do not think as men we're supposed to struggle. I think that we are problem solvers, you know, and solving problems feels good, but it all comes down to yourself, what you know, being worthy.
Yeah.
I've been told by society, you know, and you know, I agree with being a provider and being a man and taking care of others, you know, like that's our purpose on earth. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, but I think for me, my end goal and the things I'm working on now is so that I can still work, but love what I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, I love having these conversations.
Yeah.
You know, I love talking to other people and helping other people.
Yeah.
And that's what I want my work to be.
Yeah.
That's my end goal. And I talk about like retiring. I want to retire at 45, but I don't mean retire, you know what I mean? But I mean, I want my work to be what I love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the end goal, man. That's what I teach my kids. Do what you love. And I know people say, and multimillionaires and billionaires are going to say, you know, that's bullshit, you know, but if you're doing what you love, you're going to make money doing it.
Yeah.
Like it's going to happen.
Right.
You know,
I can relate. You know, there was a point in my life, and I talk about it a lot on here, where my life just changed. That's when my relationship changed and it wasn't there anymore. And my son got a little older and it was a little harder to relate with him on things. And that was a struggle. And, you know, I wanted him to respect me, but I was struggling to figure out how to be a man that he respects. Like, you know, and I think I've changed a lot of that at this point, but there was a point in my life where my life just changed. And for me, first, I had to get out of that mental health battle, right? I was in a deep hole, and I wasn't happy with who I was, and I was what you could call depressed, and I had what you could call like bad anxiety on a daily basis about just living. And for me, I had to get out of that first. And the way I got out of that was realizing I control whether or not I'm depressed. And I control whether or not I have this, what they would diagnose people with, called anxiety. Like, I'm in control of that. And so that's when I was like, all right, well, number one, the gym. I'm not taking care of myself. How am I going to feel good about myself if I'm not physically taking care of myself and appreciating this vessel that I had? But then there was still something missing, and it's like I still didn't feel good about myself. And like we've talked about before, that's when I came to the point that I'm like, man, I just got to realize that I'm worthy of love from others, and I'm worthy of love from myself. I'm worthy of loving myself. I'm not this, you know, mistake on this earth. I need to love me. And so I had to start really appreciating me for me, you know, and then after I was able to do those two things, get my head right, and our heads are never going to be completely right, but get out of that deep hole mentally, and then realize that like I'm worthy of love from myself, that it's okay to have that egotistical part of myself where I'm like, you're a good fucking person. No, I don't deserve to think of myself as a piece of shit on this earth, because that's how I thought of myself all, you know, for so long. And so the whole loving yourself part came up. And then after that is when I started connecting with that spiritual side. And it's taken me, you know, a couple years to get to the point where I'm calling that a spiritual side of myself, right? And it's just now that I'm like, you know, there's spirituality within me. And then, you know, now I'm realizing like, well, that's because like we're mind, body, spirit, right? And those are three different things that are connected. And so like I'm connecting with all that now. But I realized, just like you, that what I want my life to be is helping other people, because I needed help for so long. Yeah. And there was no one there to fucking help me. you know, and there was people who thought that they were telling me to do the right things for myself. And there was people who thought they knew what I needed. And there was people who, everyone wants to help someone, right? So there was people who thought they were helping me, but no one was there to help me because I couldn't tell anyone where I really was mentally, in life at all, you know? And so I had to put on that facade that we as men typically put on, where I'm just fine and really I'm not fine, right? And then when I dug myself out of that, I realized, like you, like I want my life to be helping people. And so for a long time I was like, oh, I'm gonna start making videos, because videos helped me. And like, I know it sounds like this 3D like cliche thing to say or whatever, but watching videos, like the content that people are putting out, like there was content out there that helped me. And I'm like, maybe I can do that. And then I struggled for so long, like trying to do that. And then like, nah, this isn't good enough. I'm not going to be able to help anyone with anything. Am I just a fake? The whole imposter syndrome thing kicked in. You know, I would go and I would sit in my room and I'd record a video and I'd be like, should I put this on the internet? And then I'm like, nah, I'm not good enough. Like, I'm not one of those people. Yeah. And finally, now we're doing this, bro. Yeah. And fucking, like, I think this is helping people. And, you know, we're still small, but I think we're going to grow. And, you know, and we're reaching people. And the people that we have reached, they're giving us good feedback. I look at the comments that we do get from people, and they're like, thank you for this. Or, yes, this message you're sending, I believe in that, you know, and it's a good feeling. So maybe you're right, bro. Maybe it's just about, you know, finding what we feel that we're meant to do. And then it's like, yes, you're supposed to continue working at that, but it's not so much like work, because you're doing something that fulfills you. Right. And what was funny you said about that, about the videos, because like I'll do a video and I'll think it's good, but until I ask you your approval, I'm not ready. Right. And vice versa. Right. You know what I mean? But typically, what do I tell you? Yeah, I know. You tell me, it's great. But same thing I tell you about yours. You know what I mean? So it's like, but still though, we're looking for somebody else's approval to feel okay with ourselves, to get it approved, to put it out there. Right. So there's still there's still work to be done, man. But, I think this podcast, dude, is going to push our own awakenings, you know what I mean? And it's gonna, and people are gonna see us grow on here, you know? Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's a good feeling. There's a lot of doubt that's come along with this shit, man. A lot of doubt. And okay, so speaking of that, how do you deal with doubt? When you're going through something and like, you know that you need to achieve this thing, but you're doubting yourself, how do you push that doubt away to stop yourself from giving up? You just take action towards it anyways. You know, that's what I do. I just take action towards it when I have doubt. That's absolutely, because dude, in everything there's some doubt that's thrown in. But things that work, you know, I never can answer your questions clearly, man. I don't. No, you're good. No, you're good. I don't, because you know, when you have a knowing of something, you don't really have doubt. So like I've explained before, there's only two things that I've done. I've tried doing all kinds of things, man. And there's only two things where I was just like, you know, like I knew it was this podcast and my security business, right? Where I just knew. And even though everything was telling me it's not going to work, I always just knew it was going to work. Right. You know? Right. So, I think that maybe if you have doubt in something, I don't know, man. But when I have doubt in some things too, like it'll stop them from happening. Yeah. Yeah. You know, a lot of times if I start doubting something, I'll change the trajectory of it and I'll start manifesting that it's not working too. So, I mean, it's just a, you know, I would say take action, man. Like with the security company, dude, it was like so many things were getting thrown at me, dude. And it was just fucking, I mean, it was chaotic, man. When I was starting out, it was pretty, like and I'm telling I'm like, dude, anybody else would have any other human being would have walked the fuck away from this. You know what I mean? Anybody else would have, dude. And when I started doubting, I would just take action. Right. And keep doing that. I mean, it was some pretty scary situations, dude, that I was in, man. And I told myself, dude, I said, anybody else would have quit, man. Yeah. They would have fucking quit, dude. Right. You know, there's a lot of things, man. I've gone through hell. And again, like I said, that's just the devil attacking.
Doubt's just the devil attacking. That's all that it is. It's self-inflicted fucking pain, man. We talk about it, dude.
Yeah.
It's created in our own minds.
Right.
And then we create it on earth. You know, so the best thing for me too is like, and I've really been able to do lately too, man, is like, no. Putting a stop to those things.
Right.
Doubt and fear and stuff like that. I've had some epiphanies lately, man, where I'm just like, no, we're not going there.
Right.
You know,
push it away instantly before it grows.
Instantly, yeah, because as soon as you give it the second thought, then the third thought, then the fourth thought. And the reason I did that is because I was going on such a negative vibration for like, I don't even know what the timeline is, but these past few months, there's just been so many, there's been a lot of it. And that's where I came to a place where like, no, I have to stop it right away.
Right.
Because for me personally, the way I am, I'll go down that rabbit hole quick. And after being in it for months, I was like, fuck, I don't want to go back there, dude. It's torturous, you know? So I gotta cut it out right away, man.
Yeah. That makes sense. I've always been a doubtful person all my life. And I think that's why I haven't achieved the things that I knew I wanted to achieve, but I just gave up because the doubt overtook me. And I agree. With this, what we're doing here, this is the first time, as much as like I've always believed like I'm not a talented enough person to do something like this and make it out there, and we still haven't made it. Like we're still trying to get ourselves out there, but like I refuse now to believe that like that this isn't meant to be, right? Yeah. And the doubt still kicks in, like fuck, is this really meant to happen for me? Am I really one of those people? That goes along with like, you know, are you worthy of being lucky? Are you worthy of, you know, receiving rewards or the things that you manifest in life? Are you worthy of any of that? And so the doubt kicks in a lot about things like this and other big things that I'm doing in my life right now. And I agree. Kick it the fuck away right away.
Kick it the fuck away, dude.
Yeah.
And not only that, but this feels right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when something feels right, you know, it got to be, there was a guy, Nicolas Cage, and some guy came up to him and asked Nicolas Cage, it was on a video, you know, any advice for actors in the future. Actually, he said, don't do and pursue things that don't feel right. Do what feels right.
Right.
And this is coming from a successful multi-freaking millionaire, who knows, maybe billionaire guy, you know, that in his acting career and everything, do what feels right.
Yeah. You
know what I mean?
Right.
And this feels right. So when that doubt comes in there, dude, say, you know what, this feels right.
Right.
I mean, look how it all happened and it all came together.
Yeah.
You know, I know for me, because I didn't pick this. It picked me.
Right.
It came to me.
Right.
I didn't go looking for this, or I started, you know, Tony, and then hey, you want to be a host on the podcast and da. So I knew, because this is something I've always wanted done, but I've always had fear or like a blockage with it. Right. I've always had a blockage, and then now it came to me, so I know it's right. Same my security company, I didn't pick it; it kind of picked me.
Yeah.
So like things that come to me, like things that I don't choose and they come to me, I always feel right about them. Like that must be it.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So just remember that when you're doubting, say it feels right.
Right. I like that. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Life is crazy, and to find your path in life, or find what you really want to do and what really fulfills you. I think it takes some level of like to achieve what you really want to do and achieve, you know, the path in life that fulfills you. I think it takes some level of like, to actually do it, it takes some level of like, I don't know, insanity, or like, maybe not insanity, but it takes a little bit of delusion, right? And I hear a lot of successful people talk about that, you know, and how like anyone who's really successful at things, like they're fucking batshit crazy people, and you just don't see it, because they were just willing to work at this one thing and put all these other things aside that they knew they should be doing, but they put all these other things aside to achieve this thing that they know is going to fulfill them, right? And it takes some sort of delusion, but like we always say, it's only delusion until it works, right?
Yeah. And I know people think I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah.
With all the different ventures and the different things that, and when I talk about them and this and that, and that, I know that they don't say it, you know what I mean? And it was funny, man, nobody even tells me that I'm wrong or I'm doing the wrong thing ever, bro. I think because they know I'm so set in stone, like it doesn't matter what they would say, you know, but I know people think I'm fucking crazy because I've done some crazy shit. I got some wild dreams, man. I'm taking some fucking crazy risks right now, dude, in crypto, man. And you know, and fucking everybody's going to think I'm crazy until it happens, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be crazy anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You won't be crazy anymore. And you'll have a whole bunch of fucking friends and family, right?
Fucking look at this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm just, my success, my destiny, my spiritual success, my financial success, my relationship success, I will have it.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Right.
You can strip me down bare naked right now and I will start again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I've never been so sure of something in my life.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, dude. In the spiritual awakening. That's the thing. I've never been like so sure of these things, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they say if God gave you the vision, you know, it's already happened.
Right.
You know, you're going there.
Yeah.
But there is actions that have to be taken.
Right.
And see, a lot of people have these beliefs in spiritual, but there is actions that have to be taken.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that video where it says, everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, as many times as I slip, fall, fail, whatever it is, you know, I'm going to succeed, man.
Right.
I'm going to succeed. And the only reason that it hasn't happened yet is because there's still lessons to be learned. You know what I mean? And that's it, dude. I thought of it like, okay, if I won the lottery and I won hundreds of billions of dollars, would I be doing a podcast?
Right.
Maybe, you know what I'm saying? I say that, yeah, you know, like, yeah, then I would really be doing it, you know, and we'd put money into it and da. Or would I be in fucking traveling the world?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
You know, or would I be gambling it away? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
you think if you did win the lottery, do you think you'd be fulfilled, that money just coming to you rather than it being something that
I created myself?
Yeah.
It wouldn't. That's another thing also.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think it would. Like, dude, and yeah, here's the thing of being a man. It's like, I fucking did that.
Yeah.
You know what I went through?
Right.
You know what I went through? What kind of commitment I had, belief and fucking faith?
Right.
You know what I mean? Even to this point, to where I am now, and I'm not even a quarter of the place that I want to be, but even just to get where I, do you fucking know?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, do you know? And in here, what I went through in this spiritual process and trying to become a better person, what kind of fucking dedication I had.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, man. Can't nobody take that away from you, dude. It's a different kind of fucking, it is, man. Now that we're talking about, dude, it's a different kind of feeling, dude, than saying I won the lotto, man.
Yeah.
Different kind of feeling, dude. And it makes you feel good and prideful, man. And those are good things, dude.
Yeah, for sure. That's why when we were talking about struggle earlier, I agree. I don't think our lives are meant to end in struggle, but I think the struggles that we go through as we live our lives, I think those make us who we are, man.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Those struggles and those failures and you know, all that doubt that we overcome and all the trauma that we experience, like, you know, that makes us who we are, especially as men. Yeah. And like, I agree. I don't think that our life is meant to be about struggle, but I think there's struggles that we have to absolutely experience to truly fulfill ourselves and you know, ending up with what we achieve.
Yeah. I definitely, like, with this like spiritual awakening and this process I'm going through, it made me realize that my whole life, all the pain and suffering that I went through, I'm glad it happened, because that's the only way I could have got here.
Right.
Because you have to, like you have to, like, know pain to feel for others' pain, to help people heal from pain. Yeah. You can't do it without knowing about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not only that, but it makes you a kind person, dude. You know, it makes you a kind person. It makes you not want to hurt anybody, and it makes you bring kindness to this earth. Like I don't want any pain, man. I don't want to cause pain. Like I've been through hell, dude. You know what I mean? I've been through fucking hell. I know what hell feels like, dude. And I don't wish it upon nobody. And I don't want anybody to live there, man. And I just don't want it. And it's made me a kind man.
Yeah.
You know, it's what it's done. And I wouldn't be that man if I didn't go through those things.
Yeah, definitely. Cause like, have you ever seen like, I remember there was this case a while back where this college student, he was at a party or something, and then he found this unconscious girl who like passed out drunk like in an alley or something, and you know he raped her. And
yeah.
And so he did that, and he got charged, and he went through his court case. And they let him off. I think he got probation or something. I would have to look back and see. But like they pretty much let him off with his crime because he grew up in a rich family, and basically saying he didn't know the difference between right and wrong. So we're not going to prosecute him for this. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, dude, if you don't go through the struggles of life and building yourself up and you know, have failures and go through all of that to get things, then you really can't appreciate the things that you end up with, right? And so yeah, I embrace struggles and embrace failures, and you know, I'm thankful for going through any struggle or failure or trauma or anything that I have to, because you're right, it makes you a kind person, it makes you appreciate life, it makes you, you know, care about other people the way other people should be cared about, in the sense that you don't have to go out of your way to care about other people where you're holding yourself back because you care so much, but you just care about other people because you just do, right? And it's not work to care about other people, right? And so you're not giving up things to care about other people. You just do care about other people. And you know, I don't think if you don't go through struggles and trauma and failure that's an easy type of person to be, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, they even say it in the Bible, like Jesus, all the people that he picked, you know, were people that have been through trauma and they've been through pain, and sinners, right? Like those are the chosen ones.
The drunks and the prostitutes.
Yeah, like those are the fucking chosen ones. Those are the ones, because they know pain and they know evil. Yeah. And that's how you can see the light more. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, man. I would, if you're going through a hard time, embrace that hard time, embrace that pain, embrace that struggle, embrace those failures, and just keep going, man. Just keep fucking going. And as long as you do that, you believe in yourself, you connect with yourself, you do the inner work to understand yourself and love yourself, you know, you're going to make it eventually. You just got to keep going.
Yeah. Right. And I know it's easier said than done. Yeah. When you're in it. Mm-hmm. You know, so we're speaking of this stuff not being in it at the time, but hopefully, you know, if you are and you're watching this, hopefully it helped you. Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully it got you through today. Absolutely. Everyone, please smash that subscribe button. A lot of you guys are. We're slowly getting more follows and subscribers and all that, and we appreciate the hell out of that. But help us get this content out. Hopefully our message helps you. We appreciate you for watching. We love you very much. Peace, y'all. Thank you, guys.